Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Jay, how are you?
Great, man. Thanks
all
for
right?
having me.
Oh yeah, of course. There's no other way. I wasn't gonna mention anything, man, but I gotta tell you, I'm honestly a little disturbed right now.
What happened, Mike?
Well, it's nothing. I honestly didn't even want to go down this road. I know it's a cheesy radio bit, but it is just weighing on me. We got into a little argument / discussion before we started about condiments in this country, and I was shocked.
Thought we were not going to do this.
I know it's very Mojo in the morning or Stoney and Wojo. Oh my God!
Set up a tournament.
Tremendous upset as Three Musketeers beats Kit Kat in the third round. You're like, okay, whatever. But dude, I am disturbed by how low nationally, as far as sales go, barbecues and barbecue sauce.
I have an idea. Let's fight over colors now. Should we?
Just saying, it was disturbing. Here we are getting ready for the 4th of July in a couple weeks. Blue guy. E? You yellow? Dandelion yellow?
Serious?
Purple.
No.
That's right.
Move on.
I posted another picture of Bear yesterday.
Got a few hits, did you? A few likes, a few thumbs up.
Dude, that's all you got to do. Post a puppy or a kitten. You're gold, man.
Yeah, if you want a social media reaction, it's a good move.
You want 200 likes and 100 comments. Bang.
Post a bear.
Oh, look at this bear. I had a picture of her, laying down with her paws on the ground and her face like this, and she looked like she was sad.
Just bummed.
Yeah, just bummed. And so I posted that picture and said, "Don't be sad, Bear. I promise you someone's going to come forward and give you a good home one day, and if not, you can stay here as long as you need."
And it was like,
And
boom,
she's
boom,
like-
boom, boom, boom.
And
I
then
want
it's
her,
just
I want
like,
her, I want
I'll
her.
take her. I want her. Mine.
I make the
So I'm pushing at him. It's not his fault, but it's like she just has that in his head. Like, oh, that guy, yeah, the one that his dog was killed, hit by a car because someone left the gate open. Oh, just killed me because I think he was in good ground, and I'm not saying he's ruled.
do.
Was that last July or something?
Seems like it.
Showed the world that it's disturbing under the
Yeah.
in
Guy in South Carolina.
yeah.
Human response.
Dude.
I don't want that whole thing.
Yeah.
I just want to quietly settle with the city for several $1 million and go about my
Yeah,
business.
it'll be interesting to see what he gets in a wrongful death. You know, there was one juror that talked. There was a so sad. It's a sad state of affairs. I'm mad as hell right now. My son loved this city, and this city killed my son. The system continues to fail black people, and it will continue to fail you all. My son was murdered. We don't park in Birmingham. Would a cop have rolled up, jumped out of his car, and shot a little white boy?
This is the kid with
You
the
know,
airsoft gun.
Yeah. Or would a cop more likely have hung back and made announcements? So I don't know, man. And I hate to even go down that road, but you know, it's a troubling video to see. It really is.
I think it's a
And-
good question.
yeah,
I mean, you hate to go down that road. You hope it's not true, but I think it's a good question.
yeah.
You'll never know, but
And I know how a lot of especially youngish black men would react to that and go, "Yeah, of course it would have a different outcome." I can't say for sure, and I'm sure it's not across the board true for everything. I'm sure there are cops out there that are, definitely would react different, black guy versus a white guy, and there's probably plenty that don't even see color. So, not that we can pin them all, but
hey, Mark Leibovitz, our buddy Merck, financial advisor extraordinaire. He has 16 years of institutional investment experience, including being a senior portfolio manager on a mutual fund. That is big shit. His background is in investments, not sales, so he's not going to sell you on shit. He's going to look at your investments and give you a honest opinion. Let him use his experience to build an investment plan for you. Call Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial, 248-626-2000. Ask for Merck.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
I wonder if anyone's called over there and just been like, yeah, put me through to Merck.
Probably. They probably know who Merck
Yeah,
is.
he's probably gone to the reception area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Merck. If
These
anybody-
clowns are probably calling me Merck like they did in high school. So if anyone calls for Merck, that's me. By the way, how long have you had your money with him now? Is it over a year?
yeah, he should have doubled it by now.
I was going to
think,
say,
yeah.
has he turned you
Promise
into a
that.
millionaire yet? Because I've got I don't know, a mountain of paperwork from him, and I haven't checked it in a while. I'm hoping.
Sure, it's coming along swimmingly.
Yeah. I didn't give him very much money because I didn't have very much, so it's going to be hard.
You keep doubling it though, and all of a sudden you got a
yeah,
bunch.
he would have to double it like every hour for the next year in order for me to be a millionaire. So I'm hoping he can pull that off. It's a tall order, but I'll keep you guys updated. The other interesting story today is how a federal judge in St. Louis has approved a settlement for the Brown family in the wrongful death lawsuit of the unarmed teen starting college on Monday, Michael Brown.
Yeah.
He was fatally shot, if you didn't know, by a white police officer.
Right.
And-
Aaron
and
Milson, I think it was.
This happened in Ferguson, Missouri,
Oh,
just to set the
God,
table for
yeah.
people. And it led to unrest nationwide. Perhaps you've heard "Hands Up, Don't Shoot." You can. That was one of
Gone
the
too soon,
"Gone Too Soon." Those are the greatest hits of Michael Brown's career.
not to mention.
Yeah. And burn this bitch down. Burn this bitch down. So yeah, they we don't know what the financial terms were, but Michael Brown Sr. Sorry.
He just pulled up a picture of the tree, the memorial tree. That's, I don't know, waist high and just a stalk. I mean, it's been, just ripped and pulled and
Macheted.
bent and macheted. And,
Someone macheted that thing. Dude, that was one of the strangest yet most hilarious aspects of this story was how every time they would replant the tree within 10 minutes, someone would cut it in half.
the poor sapling. Leave the sapling alone. It did nothing.
And remember that mountain of
The
teddy bears
rain-soaked teddy bears.
that people were just like dumping their old.
Are.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a Spidey?
Yeah, when we saw a SpongeBob SquarePants in there.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and when you start seeing, Winnie the Pooh's,
What
just
a way to honor the young man, the young scholar.
it was so funny. But yeah, I don't know what that tree's doing now. I think last we saw it, didn't they put a plaque of like a white dove?
Well, they were pissed about that, the white dove, you know?
Oh yeah, we might have made that up.
We're going to go with a penguin or something.
Yeah. Crow. I think we suggested crow, and then it was like, yeah, just
Well, you wanted unity. I want penguin.
yeah.
In memory of Michael Brown Jr., that thing looks like it's about 4 inches wide.
Yeah.
Dedicated tree, 415.
Yeah. I could have sworn there was a white dove somewhere on a placard.
Yeah, I think
but-
that's in the road, dude.
Yeah.
Like by
Oh,
the
is it?
sidewalk or whatever, where
Where
this
it happened?
yeah.
Yes.
Next to the rain-soaked teddy bear pile.
Yeah.
Because
Dude,
well,
remember
they had to come do something because I think it was like to appease people. They were hauling the trash.
Dude, they were taking a bobcat in at night and hauling that shit away.
Well,
or trucks were just flying through it.
Yeah,
because it
people
was in
were
the middle of the road.
Yep. And the citizens in that neighborhood didn't want it touched. It was a memorial for him, and so the county was stuck with like, dude, this is a hazard. This is like a health hazard.
It's in the
now.
road.
It's in the
There's
road.
vermin.
Yes,
It has vermin. Its own set.
It's literally like between waist and head high and like feet long of just there was two of them. Remember there was one like on the curb and one in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Just mountain of teddy bears. And they're like, oh God, how do we get this garbage out of the street? Which we know rats are nesting in. We just know it. How do we do that and not like disturb the peace in this
Yeah.
town? And that's what they came up with, I think, was we're going to put a white dove plaque in the middle of the road to honor him. And so, yeah, there were so many aspects of that story. Remember the guy that
Well, the
was
whole
like,
premise is this kid's just a great guy, So the whole premise is
Yeah.
skewed.
yeah,
Because the dude was flat out stealing cigarillos
Yeah.
just before that, and that's the reason he was being asked to stop anyway. And
and fighting with getting into the strong arm robbery, I guess they said.
There is the plaque and being inserted into the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Looks like this must be with.
In memory, Michael O.D. Brown.
I would like the memory of Michael Brown to be a happy one. He left an afterglow of smiles when life was done. He leaves an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy and loving times and bright and sunny days. He'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun of happy memories that he left behind when life was done.
Look at these badass hoodies.
Who wrote that?
Mike Brown hoodies. Can we get one of those?
Wow, those are
Like,
kind of dope.
legit
man.
look nice. Like
I know.
the style.
Yeah, they've definitely upped their merch game since the airbrushed.
From the Gone Too Soon.
Yeah, and Gone to Soon.
What's the subtitle? We've got Mike Brown in big letters like he's a boxer. And then what is it? Chosen for change. Chosen for change.
Chosen for change? Yeah, martyr is what that means.
Yes. Just a victim.
Well, they ended up paying this family off, and I kind of have a problem with this, man. I got to be honest with you. When you just dish out a bunch of money that the taxpayers are paying for this thing, like, you know, if Philando Castillo's family gets a big multi-million-dollar check, like, okay, all right, I don't really have a problem with that, but they ended up suing. You've got Michael Brown Sr. and Leslie McSpadden, Leslie with a Z. They sued the city, the former police chief Tom Jackson, whose world was turned upside down. Everything that came out of his mouth was a problem. And then you've got Officer Darren Wilson also sued. They argued.
By the way,
Hold on to your seatbelts, folks.
there is what you were.
There's
the
dove.
white dove. There it is. Well, it stands for unity and peace and all that stuff that's important. They argued that the death of their son deprived them
Oh, boy.
of financial support through his future potential wages.
What are cigarillos worth street value?
Depends,
You know what?
obviously.
He was going to college the next day.
Yeah. So if I'm reading that correctly, Jay, their argument is Michael Brown Sr. and Leslie McSpadden's argument is our son was going to financially support us with his future wages, and so now you've deprived us of that. Is that how
That's a regular argument in every wrongful death.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, so Wilson, you know, I don't know if you were aware of this, but he had to resign from the police force
Yeah.
after this.
Heard
Soon
that was
after,
a real problem for him.
the grand jury found it would not indict him. Remember that was the issue. The reason I have a problem with this, and I know the standard for like wrongful death is totally different than it is for a murder conviction or manslaughter conviction.
Much later.
That being said, the Department of Justice looked into this and found nothing you could charge.
The
Darren
Department of
Wilson with.
Justice concluded they couldn't charge him with something that he could be found guilty of beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
So that's important, that gap between preponderance of the
Mm-hmm.
evidence and beyond a reasonable doubt. It's the reason OJ was found liable civilly for the death of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown.
Yeah.
But let go under the beyond a reasonable doubt standard.
And also if you remember, they did 3 autopsies on Mike Brown. And one of those was per the family. The family hired outside coroner to do this. And then you had the Justice Department of the United States did theirs, and then the local coroner did his. All of them, they tried. If you remember, like Michael Brown's team was like, well, after the first autopsy's been done, it's kind of it's hard to get a total read on things. But the things that they all agreed on in conclusion was his hands were fucking never up when he was shot. They also concluded he was not shot in the back, like a lot of people said. Like there were just things that they all agreed on, and they had every incentive to make this look, worse than it was.
It'd be a very expensive trial process, and if they were found liable, it could be extremely expensive for them.
Yeah.
So we don't know what they settled for, right?
No.
So obviously there's an impetus for the county to settle, for the city to settle, because you probably have insurance behind you, number one. That's
They do.
looking at it and going, what's the risk here? Okay, yes, we'll give them this number.
Well-
Like all emotion out of it.
I think they said it was one of those where it's like the family is suing for
$85 billion.
$25,000 or more. You know how they do that?
the
It's like
jurisdictional threshold.
exactly. So they were doing that, and I thought I read that the city has insurance and will not pay out more than $3 million for a debt. So the point being, they could have gotten up to $3 million. I think, which one was it? They got $5 or $6 million recently.
I don't remember.
There was one of them. It was
Maybe a
either like
Baltimore one.
Trayvon or oh yeah, no, it was Baltimore. Yes,
Freddie Gray?
Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray's family got $5 or $6 million.
The guy
But
who
I-
was put in the back of the paddy wagon and
Yeah.
his spinal cord was severed.
Yeah,
During the
exactly. So yeah, they consider this a closed record. The judge, and they will not release the information. It will be split between Brown Sr. and McSpadden. So
And their lawyers.
the other thing that came out from that, which was good, the Justice Department went into that town and really, like turned over their records and books and looked at everything, and they found some severe problems with the policing and court practices in Ferguson, Missouri, where it sounds like black people in that town were just fucked with round the clock.
That's
where
why it was ripe for that.
yeah, right. So, they didn't get off easy, and I think they have like a couple years to like retrain the cops, sensitivity training, retrain the courts who were, there'd be someone with their car parked in a driveway, illegally parked or something. You'd write them a ticket, and whoever would blow it off, and then all of a sudden it would turn into this mountain fine, and the courts would be coming after them. Like, these people just couldn't get a break.
Yeah.
Jaywalking would turn into this huge fine. They fine the shit out of everybody for everything.
And then that turns into a reason for the guy to run if there's a cop
Yeah.
after him next because he's got a warrant
Yep.
because of what could have been bullshit in the past or
Yep.
trumped up.
And you can imagine what the tensions are like then,
Yeah.
but every time you see a cop, it's like, dude, yeah, this is the guy that will not fucking leave me alone. He's giving me all these tickets. And there was a lot of pressure on the cops from the city and the courts. They needed that money coming in to pay for their town.
The process.
The processes and stuff. And so they're just like hammering all these citizens. And yeah, it was a powder keg, no doubt about it. Anyway, so they get paid off, and I imagine they probably got a couple mil out of it.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. Be interesting. I'm sure they'll invest well. And
Call Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial.
yeah,
Brown
there you
family.
go. There you go. Does that include like paying the lawyer? Do they have to pay like?
The lawyer will get a third.
Will he get a third of whatever their
Sure.
payment
well,
was?
There could have been an agreement between them. Like the lawyer can get up to a third,
Yeah.
but they could have had an agreement. Like Crump could have been like, "Look, I get it. This is providing me a lot of
Yeah.
publicity, and this will lead to other cases. Therefore, I'm willing to do 25% or whatever it is."
I would think he would just go, dude, this one's on the house. He got
Do you
so
think he would do
much.
that?
No, I don't, but he should.
Well, then why?
He got $1 billion in advertising over
I know
over
he
1
did, but
year, man. He was on,
If you can get that plus a third, why not take a third?
I suppose. Another interesting story, Jay. We were talking about Karine Olympios.
Yeah, the Bachelorette chick or something.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy, proclaim this guy innocent. Go, scream from the mountaintops. This guy
my
got
God.
railroaded.
Right.
I know.
This guy will always have that scarlet letter on him. That's
I know.
bullshit. These rape allegations that are just thrown around like that.
Yeah. I think they do so much worse for actual victims of rape is when a false accusation happens. Because a lot of times these are he said, she said, and you don't know who to believe. You weren't there. You don't know. It's like, two people got drunk, they fucked, and now, we know there's, people
Well, this
that
is on
read it.
film. This
I
incident
know.
is on film, and they looked at it and they said, "This is not a rape."
This is bullshit. Warner Brothers. I
So
think.
what's this guy's name? Well, tell everybody he's innocent of this.
You want to put it out there now?
Donnell something?
Yeah, Demario Jackson.
Yeah. Demario Jackson, straight up guy.
Yeah.
Didn't do shit.
Yes, not in this instance, anyways. Warner Brothers announced that there was absolutely no evidence of any such offense. Well, this idiot and her lawyer are doubling down on this. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
you
but-
know this is on video, right?
Yeah, but what are you going to say? I mean, you're trying to save face at this point.
Contrary to the fears of crew members, Karine was not sexually assaulted by Demario Jackson. Her lawyer issued a defiant statement that and revealed her plans to carry on pursuing the issue. Comes as no surprise that Warner Brothers, as a result of its own internal investigation, would state that no wrongdoing had occurred. Our investigation will continue based on multiple new witnesses
Put
coming
this in
forward.
the Astronom file. We'll see if this continues or if they just limp off.
The fight is over this drunken incident at the pool we were talking about the other day involving Karine and Demario.
And you relayed a story from other witnesses where she just came up and put herself right in front of him and
Yeah.
was like, lick me.
Dude, this was day one of shootings. So these people are just meeting, right? day one. She's hooked up with 3 guys already, and then goes out and pulls her panties down while he's sitting in the hot tub and literally presents her vagine in his face. And so he's like, oh, fuck, free buffet, cool.
It couldn't be
and
a
so,
clearer presentment.
Yeah, and that's what they said happened. And then it sounds like her best friend, who was a producer on this show,
was like, oh my God, she's drunk. She cannot consent to this.
and
Halt.
pulled her aside and was like, you look like a total whore. This is not going to be good for your character. And, you know, her statements really pissed me off, too. As a woman, this is my worst nightmare that I'm having to live now because of this incident and blah, blah, blah. So they've shut down production on this show, Bachelor in Paradise. This is probably great for them because they'll resume it at some point. Sounds like certain members won't be back. They haven't announced to, but they will resume filming. And it sounds like they're trying to track down other former contestants of Bachelor, Bachelorette to bring them onto Bachelor in Paradise.
I will say this. I mean, there are instances certainly where maybe the guy realizes how drunk she is and doesn't partake in that. Maybe that's the more appropriate thing to do. Mm-hmm. But, you know.
He was probably, but he
No,
might have been
I
drunk
disagree.
himself.
Yeah, he's right.
And he's on this reality show where it's like,
I disagree
dude.
wholeheartedly with that statement, Jay. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think...
I'm just saying at some point in your drunkenness, there is a point where you're like, okay, this chick's too sloppy. I'm not going to partake in this.
Yeah.
As a gentleman and a human being.
I just don't
Yeah.
think that, but you're
Well,
on this
now-
show, though,
But
dude.
at that point, she can't turn around on you. If you do partake, if you're on
Yeah.
film doing that, as you described, if that's what really happened and it's on film, come on, chick.
Yeah.
It's just buyer's remorse, like you say. She's worried about her own character, and you're willing to throw this guy under the bus with rape allegations?
Yeah. Well, my problem with it is we all know the drill. Like, look, you've got a window where you're going to be hot. You've got terrible self-esteem. You're basically a drunk chick who's kind of hot. You're going to have that for a few more years. You are a shill for publicity. All of you. I'm talking the whole cast here, guys and girls. You've got a six-pack, and you're a dipshit, and you like to get shit-faced and bro out and bang chicks. And these chicks are whores who are looking for as much attention as they can get. The more whorish they are, the more drunk they are, the bigger cunt they are, the more they get featured. And then when all's said and done, after you guys hook up and fight for, 6 months, if you're lucky, the biggest cunt and the biggest slut and the biggest bro,
Get
you
rewarded
guys
with the next show, right?
well, you guys get rewarded possibly with future shows, and you also get to go on skank bar tours throughout the country. And for $5,000, some idiot will pay you $5,000 to show up there and do shots with locals. Like, that's the drill. Anyone, if that's cool with you, we're gonna film this whole mess. If that's cool with you, sign here, and we'll get started.
Now I got you.
And so for her to be like, oh my God, I was taken advantage of. Oh my God. No, whore, stop it. You're on Bachelor Paradise to be a whore and get drunk. You did that successfully. No, you can't call it back now. Stop it. You hooked up with 4 guys on night 1.
And you presented yourself to, like, right there. He's
Dude.
just sitting there, and if that's really what happened, I mean,
That is such a guy move, by the way. Like, drunk and, like, in a hot tub. Like, I can see a guy doing that. Chick sitting there and it's like, suck my dick, and pull it out, put it on her
Right, right.
head or her shoulder. Like, I've never heard of a chick just, like,
yeah,
saddling up to an unknown guy and presenting a vagine to munch on. That's just,
something.
that's ballsy, isn't it? Ballsy move.
Hey, everybody, please use our affiliate links at DetroitCast.com. You'll see links to Amazon and Groupon. Many of you shop on those sites, and we are happy to have partnered with both through their affiliate programs. You'll find great deals through both Amazon and Groupon. Please enter both of those sites through the links that we've provided. Again, you can find those portals to Amazon and Groupon on our homepage, DetroitCast.com.
And thank you to everyone that has used those and continues to use them. We appreciate that. Another story that I think is bullshit out today that's just meant to stir some shit is it Gal Gadot?
I think it's Godot. Yeah.
She's Wonder Woman, which I guess has done so well at the box office. I think it's close to $600 million now.
Wow.
in
Holy
revenue.
Shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So by the end of the week, yeah, they said $600 million globally. The film star is said to have made $300,000 for the film.
Poor gal.
You know, Henry Cavill, who played Superman.
I do know him, yeah.
Just for context, Jay, he made $14 million for
Really?
Batman v Superman.
Who was Gal Gadot before this film?
Yeah,
I'm not even sure how I'm saying that right. Gal Gadot. I think
Yeah,
I am, but
I'd never heard that name literally until I started reading stories about Wonder
Israeli
Woman was
actress. I think plucked from nowhere to be Wonder Woman. Is that right?
killed. Is she what?
Israeli.
Oh,
She's
Israeli-
an Israeli actress that was plucked from nowhere.
I thought you were asking, is Ray Lee?
You're like, no.
and I'm like, no, I don't.
Ray would.
Why
Ray would be Ray?
Ray would, yeah. Why would, is Ray Lee? No. Ray is Ray, Lee is Lee. Sorry, I should have picked up on that. It was a whole Mike Hat sort of thing.
Yeah.
So people, I get what you're doing here when you drop a story like this. It's made to look like, oh, of course the woman makes 300 grand and he makes 14 million, 42 times what the woman makes. And this is kind of what happens in these things. Apparently she signed a 3-picture deal, 300,000 for each. And then those have all kinds of back-end incentives, and they, and
They meet certain marks, she gets paid out, blah, blah, blah.
and this is the time now where we step in and you go, look at all the success I had. We didn't know if Wonder Woman was going to work. Now we know it does, so it's time to renegotiate my deal. And she will get paid.
It's like someone
Through
coming
the
out
roof.
of AA to play for the Tigers, and they
Yep.
do really well. Okay, your next contract, you're going to get paid.
You're going to get hooked up.
It's the way the world works, Mike.
She is set to bank a huge performance sum in addition to her salary. She'll receive multiple times worth her base rate. But yeah, he's. Let's see. It's been reported the star is planning to enter into major renegotiation over deal with bosses for the sequels because it's been such a hit. So, yeah, I see what
I'm
you're
sure,
doing.
and I'm sure that'll be fine because they won't want to replace Gal Gadot
No.
with a new Wonder Woman.
Yep.
So if she did a bang-up job and they're happy with her, I'm sure she'll get a nice deal for the next two.
Yeah.
But
And
it
that's-
does make a nice headline in the meantime. You're right.
It does, and it bothers me because it's like, there's already enough people that think everybody's out to fuck everybody, and these like fake news stories are bothers because that's the way it is. It's like U2 makes $20 million an album, and some unheard of band is getting fucked on their record deal, and you're like, yeah, okay, so go do the next Joshua Tree and blow the world up, and then
do that
guess
for 30
what?
years.
Guess what? Then you get to tell them what you're going to do. That's how it works. You renegotiate your stuff. But Gal Gadot,
It's a market that's
yes,
established.
there you go. It's entertainment,
Economics.
showbiz.
Not much.
101.
Well, she looks like she was in the Fast and Furious one, some of those movies, and then the Spider-Man v Batman, right?
Superman v
Or
Batman.
Superman.
Yeah,
v
but
Batman.
wasn't that just like a?
But that's
like at the very
I
end.
didn't watch the end, and I never saw her. No, you know what? I do remember seeing her come into a party scene where she met Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
But then she kind of like went out of that. But I think she showed up as Wonder Woman at the end. I think that was like the big tease.
Yes, and I thought people loved it. They were like, "Oh my god, that new Wonder Woman looks badass." Like that's what I remember. But I don't think she was like a major. I could be wrong, but
But
I don't
if you-
think she had much of a role in it, though.
But if you look, so she got into obviously the Fast and the Furious franchise because he should, and several. But then an episode of Entourage. A few little.
She
things
played
here-
Lisa on Entourage. Who can forget?
A few little things
Great
here and there,
role.
but
It's
she's still
simple
not.
supply and demand and market value. It's simply it.
Yeah, but she's a woman. She's
Whose
getting
market
ripped off.
value is skyrocketing right now.
Yeah, but Henry Cavill and Brad Pitt make like $14 million a movie.
Now, what
and
the hell did Henry Cavill do to deserve 14 mil?
I would have sworn on. I would have bet on E's life that he played Jesus in The Passion.
No.
Passion of the Christ, was that
Yeah.
it?
That's James something or other. James Caraville or something.
I would have sworn. I would have put huge money. Like I said, I would have bet E's life that Hank Cavill
That he played
was
Jesus?
Jesus. Yeah.
What else has he done, Isis?
Oh boy, please
Because
say
he
he's
did do the Superman
These are-
movie
these are
beforehand.
yeah.
big
Man of Steel.
ones, technically, because they always put the known for on top.
Was that Man from Uncle? I don't know if that was
Immortals.
good. Immortal. Batman v Superman, and then he did Man of Steel. That was a big
Doesn't
movie.
seem right, Mike.
This is bullshit. Man of Steel must have been huge. The first.
Yeah, and then wanting
new
to
Superman.
link him into the next Superman must
Yeah.
have been very important.
I will
Yeah,
say there's not
and then
much
if he
on this
paid,
list.
if he played Jesus, that would have been huge for him. Because
Yeah,
that
but he
Passion
didn't.
of the Christ was huge.
Red
if he could have
Rocket.
found a way to slip in there and play Jesus, he'd probably be making more now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not a lot here either. I gotta be honest. Other than, but you're right. He was the main guy. I guess.
But maybe he doesn't have these back end deals with his. You get the 14 million guaranteed, boom, and he doesn't have residuals.
Yeah, but if he had the Passion of the Christ playing Jesus
didn't,
on his,
though, but he
on-
didn't.
if he had that on his resume though, it would be a guarantee he could demand that kind of money because it was huge. You know what I mean? Like if he just
do you
had
keep
that
coming
on there,
back to this?
because I could swear he was in that fucking movie.
He wasn't, though.
But if he was, then it would totally be justified.
About any actor, if they were.
Well, I understand that, E. By the way, are you going to do a history lesson today?
I don't think so. Shit.
What?
I didn't study. We'll have to do it tomorrow.
Calling in sick to class teach?
I'm sorry. I didn't. You know what? I forgot about it. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
All right, well, you better look at
tomorrow.
June 22nd.
Shit. I actually had one today I wanted to do, but I forgot to look it up. To be honest with you.
What was it?
It was New Hampshire on this date. I think it was to this date. Maybe I'll look to see if it's tomorrow. Maybe it'll be tomorrow and I'll be lucky. But the date, the item I was gonna do was New Hampshire ratifying the Constitution, officially making the Constitution
Official?
Yeah, official. Well, enough of the colonies or the states, I guess, had to ratify it to make it.
To make it govern over
Yeah, I
them.
think they were the 9th, so I think there was 13 colonies. So I think 9 out of it was the 9th, and then making it official.
Boy, I hope your research can do something to liven that story up,
To
because that sounds
bolster that?
boring
That
as
was.
shit.
It's pretty exciting, dude.
Oh,
That's like
I almost
literally.
took a nap while he was describing
Well,
it.
all the freedoms that you're so happy about and you babble on about in a good place and time to live,
Yeah.
it all started there, dude.
Maybe
If-
it's the
for
teacher.
the
If you
first
get a
time
good
in
teacher, they
freaking
can
the-
make anything interesting. But
Dude, for the first time in the history of the fucking world, somebody stood up and said, "No, we're not going to be under a king, and we're going to have a rule on this, government." based
no,
on
in
what-
theory, there's a lot there, but you just described something, and I was just like nodding off. I don't know if you saw that, Jay, but my eyes are just getting lazy and
But I
heavy.
heard your head
Well,
just
coming
hit,
from
yeah,
a
hit the
non-history buff
microphone.
like yourself, that makes sense. Like, see, someone like me who cares about history
And buffery.
and buffery is so excited, but you being a layman, it wouldn't shock me that you would
Yeah.
fall asleep with these very interesting facts.
No, that's fine. I just hope you deliver tomorrow. You've set the table now,
I hope that's the I want.
and
June 22nd.
I hope you're right on that date too. E.
This date in history with Big E.
It might have been today, so I might have to find something else. Unfortunately,
Did you see the coroner has agreed to not do an autopsy
On
for
Larry, yeah.
for Larry out of warm beer? Mm-hmm. Should you explain Larry to people again really quick? It's got to be confusing to some.
Larry is what we used to term any beer that was left. After you go around after a party and you pick up cans, and it's like, son of a bitch, man! Somebody Larry'd the shit out of this.
Yeah,
Meaning there's
half
like
a beer
half
here.
a beer, quarter beer, 3/4 beer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or it's a beer with like one cigarette in it.
Yeah.
It becomes a Larry because nobody's
Dip
drinking
spit.
it. Yeah.
Someone's dip spit into the bottom of it.
So they Larry'd it, dude. Finish your beer.
So I was asking Jay the other day with the name Auto Warm Beer, like what would your nickname for? Would it be like, hey, what up beers? What up warms? And he was and Jay just said, Larry. And I was like, what? He's like, warm beer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it works.
So yeah, so it fits for that. Anyway, the coroner has granted the family's request to not do an autopsy. I'm kind of surprised at that. Like, I would think you would want an autopsy because they do say that it would help shed some light on what happened to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
And I would think, I can understand the parents going, yeah, what does it matter? Our kid's dead. It doesn't fucking matter. And the idea of like cracking someone's chest cavity open,
Yeah,
and,
pulling them all apart. Like, just let them be.
Yeah, I get that. It's not going to change what's happened, and you'll probably never know the full story. But
that's
inquiring
where I-
minds like mine are like,
where
Clearly,
I
he was
disagree,
deprived
though.
on some level of oxygen.
dude, that's where I disagree, though. Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, I know some people care so much about the body and the presentation, but just based on like, you'd think like that we would want to know. I mean, I know it sucks for that family, but as a people, wouldn't we want to know like what happened there?
Yes, that's what Mike said. Ideally, he'd like to
Oh.
know, but the family doesn't want
I
to.
know that's bullshit. I think the family's being selfish.
This family who had their son ripped from them by
Yeah.
an evil
Well, yeah, but it
regime.
doesn't matter anymore. Just close the casket.
could you do an autopsy and not tell them? Would that be possible? Would
Oh,
that
you
be?
accidentally-
yeah,
would that be out
guess
of
who
line?
gets sued when they find out?
How are you going to find out?
Because presumably you're keeping some findings somewhere, and somebody's
But it just doesn't matter.
going to squeal.
Yeah,
Some whistleblower.
I know.
Just
Someone's
put
Oh
it
my
going
in
God,
a
the
box.
Larry family didn't want this done, and they did it.
to. Who's Larry? The warm beer kid.
But you're just gonna put it in this box and then into the ground.
I know they're
I
putting
know.
it in a box, but
And then putting it in the ground. We all get that, E. I know it's selfish of them, but
I can totally see why
respect
they're
their
just
wishes.
like, no, leave his body alone. This kid has been through hell.
Do you want an autopsy done on
You're
you?
gonna feel it.
I'm fine with whatever anybody wants to do to me.
Yeah.
Sure. Use my organs, autopsy, burn me up, throw
that
me,
organ thing.
cast me into wherever.
Yeah.
Shoot me out of a cannon or not. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Dude, that organ thing, you know how my nightmare is I'm going to be close to dead, and they're not going to give me a fighter's chance
Yeah.
before they go,
That's a
oh,
great
he's-
theory.
He's an organ donor. Well, we could probably save a lot of lives if we just, like, put some pressure on his neck and let him go.
You
Yeah.
presented this years ago, and
Yeah.
I think it's genius. The fact that all things being equal, do we work on this guy or this guy? Well, this guy's an organ donor, so we'll leave him for a second and work
Yeah.
on this guy over here.
Yeah. They're not giving you that fighter's chance. That's my
Not
nightmare.
that you want a fighter's chance anyway, be
No.
resuscitated in any manner.
Yes, right.
But it's a great point.
I did hear a story. There was a doctor that was being sued recently, and I thought of this. Some baby was dying and wasn't.
Dead baby stories go.
I know. It wasn't going to make it and was an organ donor. And so the accusation was that the doctor was like, boy, if we're going to get these organs, they've got to be, there's like a window. You have a window of time before organs start shutting down, and it's like spoiled
useless.
food, and it's not useless. You got to get it in that freezing container and send it somewhere. What do they call that? The medevac of life or something? And then they ship the kid's whatever, his leg bone or something, to someone that needs one.
Right. I
And
picture
so,
a chopper.
Yeah.
A chopper with a thermos.
Yeah. And they got to get it there fast. Spleen, stat, go. And so the accusation was, the kid was probably fucked. Probably, but you shut that shit down a little faster. You gave him a little bit extra morphine
Wow.
to shut him down so that you could gut him and then save all these other people. And they're suing the doctor.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. The
That's
kid
it.
wasn't given a fighter's chance. Yeah, brain activity was gone, but whatever. Give the kid a fighter's chance.
It's your theory and practice right there.
No. I keep reading these stories like, what really killed Larry? Otto Warmbier. And they're just so dumb. These people are like, well, it could be oxygen deprivation is what it looks like. And there's a lot of things that could be. Apparently, not getting oxygen for great lengths of time is a
harmful.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. If you can avoid that, by the way, you should.
Keep breathing, everybody.
Yes. But they all agree that he did not take a sleeping pill and have botulism.
Yeah, the botulism, the whole cream corn can, that theory was out the window with me right off the bat.
Yeah. They said the brain damage looked like it was caused by a long period of time and possible cardiac arrest. And so if you see someone going into cardiac arrest, you need to resuscitate them like now. Like the sooner the better. Like the longer they're going through that and no one's doing CPR on them, not good.
That's what happened to Princess Leia, right? Remember, she had her issue on the plane,
plane?
and it was like she had
Into
no,
the mic!
She had no oxygen for however long that was.
17 minutes or something. Yeah.
Not even a Jedi.
Yeah, probably right. They said that that pneumonia theory could be that he got pneumonia
With a P.
Yeah, pneumonia, and which can happen when a person in a coma breathes saliva into their lungs, and then that starts an infection, and here we are.
Sounds plausible.
Yeah. Basically a worthless story, though, because you don't know, and you can't count on Un to explain it
Well,
to
and
you.
doctors have probably told the family, like, look, yes, it would be helpful to do an autopsy, but we're not going to solve anything. It's not like
Yeah.
he was deprived oxygen, and yeah,
Yeah, they murdered your kid.
like they're
essentially,
not
but-
going to find out exactly what happened, and if that's not going to bring you solace anyway, then just
let it go.
put him in a box and put him in the ground.
Yeah. Feel bad for this family too, who's having to watch report after report of people that are just shitting on this kid. Blaming the victim. For his white privilege. The amount of people saying white privilege didn't win out this time. He got what he deserved. Stealing a poster in a foreign country. What kind of white privilege do you think you had? Not in North Korea. And it's like, oh, really?
Dumb kid. Dumb kids do dumb stuff. Everybody
Yeah.
does that shit. You try to steal something out of a hotel. Come on, who amongst us hasn't done something like that?
Yeah.
Obviously not in those circumstances, but
Yeah.
you take a whatever it is off the counter and for
Yeah.
They're not bolted down.
for safekeeping in your dorm room or whatever it is.
Those are all built into room costs, Jay.
right.
A pendulum
Gideon,
or
the
something.
Gideon
Go to a
Bible.
foreign country.
How many of those have I taken and redistributed?
Go to a foreign land and steal a pendulum, for instance. You know what I mean? Like,
These things happen. They get
they-
thrown into rivers.
yeah. And then, could you imagine if you're doing 15 years hard labor for that?
Right.
I mean-
there's a great example right there. Everybody's drunk at Cambridge on an overseas study with me. Half their group goes, a pendulum breaks, they chuck it into the River Cam.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
And it was never recovered.
never recovered.
It's still there.
We know exactly where it is, though.
Yeah. We're going to have to take a
By
foreign
the
trip.
large willow.
Yeah, we actually made some calls over there. And then we talked to Petra. You had,
Petra the Porter.
Yeah, you had Peter the Porter, didn't
did.
you? and he wasn't there. But I think they remembered Peter the Porter.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but they knew about that. Petra said that he remembered that. So.
Yeah, we should reestablish contact with that because I feel bad. We know where it is. Somebody with a little chutzpah can go down and grab it right now.
You seem to think that it was like an heirloom to the country, and he was like, whatever.
Fuck it.
In the fucking river, who cares? Fishing that thing out. Get out of here. He didn't seem nearly as troubled by that.
Everything
as
there is
you did.
old, so it's like, oh, fuck, whatever,
Yeah.
another old thing.
Plenty of old stuff. All right, let's take a quick break, Jay, and then
Collect our thoughts.
I thought you had told E a couple weeks ago to order. Was it a new Van Halen book?
Yes, it was. Running with the Devil.
Yes, I've got some excerpts from it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's written by their personal manager, Noel Monk.
Very good.
I guess he was their manager like those early years, right out of the gate through '84. And so he's written a book, and we've got some excerpts. E, do you know if that book is on its way, or
Just sent a follow up again today, so they
Yeah.
never got back to me. But I'm trying.
All right. Well, we'll discuss that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
We all know to look up, locate, step to the side if a tree is falling. But what if the tree falls on your home or car? We all know to look up, locate, step to the side if a tree is falling.
We all know to look up, locate, step to the side if a tree is falling. But what if the tree falls on your home or car? In this scenario, you better hope that you have the best insurance coverage you can get. That's why you need to call Brent Wasik, insurance agent of the Detroit Cast. He will find you the best coverage for your home, auto, commercial, business, or life insurance at an unbelievable price. Call him today at 734-455-1900 for your free, no-obligation quote. Nobody can do what he can do.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, Mike and Jay.
Well, what's it got to do with me?
Absolutely nothing, sir. Nothing at all. I just checked on the bear.
How's the bear doing?
Bear's doing good. I had a little accident and whizzed on the floor.
Yeah,
but
I've been noticing that about the bear.
yeah.
She whizzes on the floor a lot.
They whiz on the floor, and then they're like, well, I'm just going to take a nap now that I got that out of me. And they'll just lay
right in the
it.
floor.
And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude.
I
Like,
know.
imagine that. Like, if you pissed on the floor,
I
it
would.
would be the last place you would decide to, like, rest your head.
For
you
the
know?
record, yes.
Like, the feeling of, I mean, we've all pissed our pants at some point. That feeling of having a soaked pantalone or body part, it's just like, ugh, get it off me. But Bear doesn't seem to care at all.
No.
It's like, whatever, I'm just gonna plop down here and soak my can in the side of me and whiz.
I'll say this about the bear: she's adorable.
Yep.
She's got a little ear that's got a little kink to it. That's
Cockeyed
cool.
ear.
And she has multiplied. Like, it's amazing how big she is.
And the color,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
it's
incredible.
a beautiful canine.
Yeah, unbelievable. So, hopefully we'll have her just a couple more weeks, and then someone's going to have to take the bear. But yeah, she's doing good. Hey, before the break, I mentioned this book that we've got to get ordered here. This Van Halen one.
Yes,
I love these stories of, you know, like a young band. You know, you think about these guys in Southern California at the time. They're kind of a super group. Like, people knew who Eddie Van Halen was, like, in high school circles. And, you know, like, most musicians know who the town, like, sweetest guitarist is. You know, most musicians can point those guys out. And Michael Anthony was another one where it's like, oh, wow, you know, you got the Van Halen brothers who were sort of making a name, and then Michael Anthony was in another band and respected as a bass player, like, top notch. And so they joined forces, and, you know, and then David Lee Roth is just the rich kid, son of this dentist or whatever, or doctor. And, you know, he's got a PA system, so they have to take him in. And just seeing how it starts and where it goes, and you're playing backyard parties and getting drunk and banging chicks, and then you get that record deal and a manager, and how quickly things change and the debauchery that comes in. And so I just love reading these accounts from these things. So I'm looking forward to that book for sure. But their former manager, or original manager, Noel Monk is the guy's name. He said the road with Van Halen was a nonstop traveling party. Sex, drugs, massive hotel room destruction dominated their tours. It's just what it was. Drink a bottle of booze, pop a couple of ludes, smoke a joint or 10, and see where the night takes you, was their mantra on the road. It's in this new book, Running with the Devil. I'm not crazy about this name. I think you could just go Running with the Devil, you know, the Van Halen story, you know. But no, his is Running with the Devil, a backstage pass to the wild times, loud rock, and the down and dirty truth behind the making of Van Halen.
It's kind of long, but it does. It tells you that within it has what you're looking for.
Yeah,
'Cause that's the story you want to hear.
I've heard people say it better. Motley Crue, The Dirt. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, all right, we're getting the dirt. Let's get in there. I just think it's a little wordy, but whatever. I'm not going to tell Noel how to do his book. They perfectly embody the West Coast surfer, stoner, and party culture. Too many drugs and alcohol. The run was over when the band collapsed in 1985, consumed by infighting egos, out-of-control alcohol and drugs. Their sexual output was unsurpassed, and they have doctor visits to prove it. They were constantly going to the doctor to get penicillin shots to clear up the clap that they were getting all the time. Unchecked hedonism was part of their creativity and success. And they talk about Valerie Bertinelli, who was apparently a really big fan of Eddie, like not just, you know, but she was like familiar with his guitar playing. And they talk about their getting together in Louisiana in 1980, August 1980. That's when they first met.
At the time, she was a sitcom star, right?
Yeah, so she had her own money. She had her own career going. But they say she wasn't like a casual fan. She seriously was into him and really had a crush on him. So they're both kind of nervous when they meet, and that was it. Once they met, like backstage, they were like inseparable. And 3 months later, their wedding was planned for April of 1981. The prior November, they said some chick in San Diego, like Eddie Van Halen's thing was to like pick up a chick, drive the coast of Pacific Coast Highway, stop somewhere, and have someone blow him. And so this chick in San Diego files a lawsuit against Eddie, claiming that he's the father of her kid. And so Eddie's like, God, can you get a chick pregnant from a blowjob? And the man is just like, no, Ed, you can't.
He actually asked that question.
Yes. He's like, I mean, she's suing me, and I remember her. She literally blew me on the side of the road on the Pacific Coast Highway. Is that possible?
I definitely came.
So he's like, I swear, I only got a BJ from her. Once I came, it was like, get her out of the car. I'm done with you, you know?
Think she turkey basted it?
No. It turns out, you know, he then has to come clean to Valerie, like, yeah, there's this chick, claims I'm the father. So she's like, all right, take a paternity test. He does, proves he's not the father, and proving once again that it's really hard to get pregnant from a blowjob.
Through the mouth.
Yeah. So this thing all disappears except for David Lee Roth, who decides he needs some protection from groupies wanting to trick him into fathering a child or a lawsuit. So Roth comes up with the idea of paternity insurance. And he's trying to go to like Lloyd's of London and shit and take out $1 million policy against false accusations of chicks getting knocked up and stuff. And so they're like, dude, you can't buy paternity insurance. No one's going to give you that. The manager,
they would cover the lawsuit and all that when
I
it comes?
guess. But
or a kid that he fathers? What is he claiming? What does he want covered?
He wants people to know that he has it, so don't think about fucking with me. And that's really the point. And so Lloyd's of London and all these big insurance policy people are like, yeah, no, you're not getting coverage for that. Well, anyway, the manager's like, I could just say he got $1 million policy and leak it to the media. And they did. And people bought it and ran with the story and thought that David Lee Roth had $1 million paternity insurance. So don't think about falsely accusing him. So anyway, back to Eddie and Valerie. In April '81, they went missing before the reception of their. So they've had their vows, and they're still in tux and dress, and they're missing. And so Monk, the manager, finds them. And he's like, "Where the fuck are they?" So he goes up to this knocking on the door upstairs in one of the bedrooms, and finally like kicks in the door. I find Valerie in her beautiful white lace wedding gown, and tears streaming down her cheeks. This is their wedding night. And Valerie was holding her husband's head over a toilet bowl, pulling his hair back as he's just vomiting profusely in the toilet, shit-faced. So if anyone had seen Eddie on his knees in the bathroom, they would never have believed this marriage would last. But it did for almost 20 years.
They had Wolfie, too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Through endless betrayals and addictions, back on the road, Eddie's drug consumption didn't change. So he was like, I'm going to change. I'm going to stop. No. He kept lines of cocaine like nearby any amplifier he was using. So like when he was on stage, he could just go over and rip a line really quick. He had beer and whiskey, and Alex would just drink his balls off through every performance, hammered drunk. Alex consumed throughout every performance. He had money. So Eddie had a personal drug dealer willing to meet him anywhere on the planet to supply him with his drug of choice, which was this top-notch Peruvian coke. So anywhere he was, this guy would fly in and supply him with his Peruvian coke. While on tour, he and Valerie kept separate but adjoining bedrooms so that he could stay up all night playing the guitar, writing, drinking, and drugging. When he was sufficiently fucked up, he'd curl up in Noel Monk's lap, put his head on his shoulder, and tell him how much he loved him. He also wanted to complain about David Lee Roth. He was tired of playing second banana to him. He's like, fucking guy drives me nuts, man. So meantime, Valerie confided to this Noel Monk guy's fiance and says, yeah, it's kind of weird, but I've been out on the road for a while now, and we just got married, and we've had sex once. Is that weird? Like, that seems a bit off. What Valerie didn't know was that Eddie was fucking everything that moved backstage. Like, before every show, he was fucking a new chick, and then it was like, man, I don't need to bang Valerie. I already banged all these things every night.
That's all right.
While Eddie was sliding into drugs, Alex was sliding into alcohol. He showed up at Monk's room one morning early, withdrew a couple small bottles of vodka, slam, drinks them both. He repeated the ritual with another half dozen bottles and a couple beers. By 10 o'clock in the morning, completely shit-faced.
He needs to be better trained.
He was drunk almost all waking hours.
That's creative.
And now he was seeing things. Imagine trying to deal with this. You know what he was seeing? penises.
Oh,
Big
that sucks.
penises. Giant fucking penises.
Of all things to see.
All coming out of the wall. Giant fucking penises. And so he's trying to explain to his man. This manager's like, just stay focused, keep the thing rolling. Yeah, he's seeing giant fucking penises on the wall.
Oh.
Whatever. David became obsessed with stardom, David Lee Roth. He never escaped his narcissism and obsession with being a self-entitled rich kid.
That's really astounding.
He was one of the most difficult people, yet the smartest guy in the band, and he knew it. David, like most of the guys, had absorbed a river of penicillin in his ass. Constantly getting shot in the ass. He smoked a joint before pausing and vamping in front of any mirror.
In his spandex.
He would even pull up a chair and look at himself in the mirror for hours. Hours. He would
Holy
vamp,
shit.
strike a pose in the mirror, and then pull up a chair and be like, I got to take this all in.
Blue Steel.
I'm going to need a few hours, everybody. He got so drunk and stoned on one bus ride through Germany, and then they get on this plane, and he's puking into the plane's toilet with his head and hair completely down in the bowl, which is already overflowing with his puke.
Oh, man.
Imagine
Yeah.
what they would do with like Instagram. Stop.
Yeah, it's better this happened in the 80s at least.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had your heads like fully submerged in a toilet? You probably have.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing how you
Honestly, I
were
don't
on the
think
gummy bear night?
Okay,
'Cause
maybe I
I've
guess,
never like, you know.
Like in the water?
Right.
No,
No,
fuck
not in the
no.
water.
Never.
Your face was on the bowl, man.
Okay, well, that was the furthest. I don't know.
Yeah, his mouth, he was like drooling on the bowl.
Yeah.
And it was the part of the bowl at the top where if you're going to dribble pee out of your dick, it's going to land right
Pubes
there.
are going to be sitting right there,
I
yeah.
think there was a pube too, and I think we could have removed it but chose not to. You know what I mean? Like, let's just play this out and see where this pube ends up. I think that was our attitude. No offense.
I think I've done more throwing. To be honest with you, I think more than times, more than often, when I've thrown up from partying, it's ended up outside or some weird. I don't know. It's not been
That's
like
really astounding.
into the bowl.
So he says the nonstop party around the world continued. You know, like everywhere they went, they opened for Black Sabbath, and Ozzy and David Lee Roth, literally a blizzard of cocaine everywhere they went. Monk, this guy is greasing palms of cops in every town they go to just like just turn the other cheek.
Right.
So he's paying these cops off all over the world. After all the touring, the band owed the music company more than $1 million until Monk renegotiated their deal.
Go on this tour and you come back owing $1 million.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
He said with their touring, with their trashing of hotel rooms, dressing rooms, limos, their expenses outstrip their revenue. So they owe
It's
money.
like you
at the
can't
end.
afford to tour, guys.
So Michael Anthony didn't whine about the other band members, but chose to stay on the sidelines. For all accounts, he's just a good dude. It's just like, don't make any noise. While the rest of the band dissolved into hatred of each other, Michael didn't write song lyrics. So in an unconscionable and cruel streak, the other three decided to strip him of his royalties.
Yeah.
He quietly accepted their decision, which stripped him of millions of dollars. What that is such bullshit, dude. That is infuriating. Michael was just there, quiet, dependable, unassuming. And when I hear stories like that, I'm just like, you catch lightning in a bottle, you don't fuck with it. Like what? Like Axl Rose, I'm not going on stage unless you give me all the rights to the music and the name Guns N' Roses. Like how quickly we forget the struggle and no one giving a shit what you are or who you are. And then you make it and it's like,
Yeah, but you've got this cocktail of drugs 24/7, and the narcissism is through the roof.
dude,
and
I've done cocktails of drugs forever and I've
My
never
point is-
wanted to fuck over my friends.
Point is, people get in your ears and stuff. So
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah,
how
but
it happens.
dude, no
It is
offense, Mike.
bullshit.
I know like you've done okay for yourself in your past a little bit, but dude, you're not world famous. Hundreds of
I
thousands
know.
of people
Like
at these concerts.
I guess I could understand it more if you were a band that was just kind of mediocre and made a couple $100,000 a year or whatever. And it's like, no, you need every penny you can get. And if E's role isn't enough, you're just a background vocalist. Fuck him. Let's take a couple points. But when you're talking about millions of dollars and royalties and keeping the thing going without resentment for each other, like what are you doing fucking with a formula?
Yeah.
And to say like, wow, Michael Anthony didn't write lyrics. Michael Anthony is. His contribution to Van Halen is undeniable. His vocals alone. Who's got more recognizable backup vocals than any? Seriously, think about any Van Halen song and listen to when they get to a hook, you can pick Michael Anthony out every single
He's
time.
strong.
He's part of this. He's the sound of Van Halen. You take, dude. Seriously, if you take Michael Anthony's vocals out of there and just put a guy that's got good pitch and key, it sounds like a different band. It sounds like a different band. And my point is, you can tell Eddie Van Halen's guitar licks. You can. You know when you hear Eddie. I would argue you know when you hear a Van Halen song by Michael Anthony's voice.
Everybody undervalues the bassist.
I know they do. It pisses me off because he's a nice guy. Leave Mikey alone. So anyway, the band of four had become a DEA band, drugs, ego, and alcohol, and they now hated each other. They never gave Noel Monk a long-term contract despite his full-time dedication to them for 7 years, doubling their income after renegotiating his contract. When he left, he's never talked to them again. Like after 1985, when they were kind of going their separate ways and whatnot, never spoken to them again.
Can't believe he's been sitting on this book for this long.
Yeah, I know. We got to get it though. I can't wait to read that thing.
I agree with you.
Make it happen.
On that?
Or we're going to take percentage points away from you.
Douglas!
And then we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug. Doug, Doug, oh, Doug, 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 Doug.
Buying or selling a home can be one of the most stressful times of a person's life. Doug Steinert at Century 21 Campbell wants to make the sale of your old home or the purchase of your dream home as stress-free as possible. Call Douglas at 248-765-1781. Let him and the team at Century 21 Campbell make your home purchasing dreams a reality. Call him now, 248-765-1781. Ask for fellow Detroit Cast listener Douglas Steinert.
Jay, there are certain stories that just make my blood boil.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain things that I honestly believe I don't want to tempt fate. I don't want to do that and then think about payback being a bitch or something, or karma. I worry about karma in a lot of instances.
Where are you going with this, Mike?
Well, I've got a story of another one of these people that's like, oh yeah, I've got cancer, and so we need to raise money for me. And I had breast cancer in 2015, and I was in remission, and everything was going good, but now it's back, quote, with a vengeance. And so I'm going to need all my friends to feel sorry for me and raise a bunch of money.
We had a big one here locally with a young kid, right? A lady was pimping her daughter out like that, shaved her head and everything. Oh, look at my poor daughter.
Yeah.
Please contribute.
Oh, that was awful.
This present one, though, I'll tell you what the story is. It's the tooth-to-gum ratio.
That's the reason I have the story in my hand, Jay. And if she simply came out and said, look, I needed some very, very extensive and expensive tooth-to-gum ratio surgery. And
everybody can see my gum is too fucking big. I just wanted to reduce that. You can understand, right? We'd all absolutely. Here's $10.
And the judge, in court, she's on the stand, and the judge is like, "Well, can you smile for the jury?" And she does, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, not guilty." I totally understand. But no, that's apparently nobody mentions that in the story at all. That
front and center, man.
You just can't smile big. You can't smile big for the camera, right?
You can grin at best.
You can grin. You can mouth closed smile.
Just be aware. Go half a tooth. That's it. You can smile. I'm not saying you can't smile.
And it's not something that springs up on you. You should be aware of this in second grade. No, I cannot let my top lip go more than half a tooth.
You've had the same tooth-to-gum ratio your whole life.
Yes.
Your face has just gotten bigger.
We're talking about Hillary McClellan, and she was indicted last month after cops say she took $10,500 been raised to pay for her non-existent cancer-related expenses. And her friends were tipped off when they noticed, why isn't her hair falling out?
Ah, the telltale sign.
Yeah, you almost got to go. If you're going to go,
shaving it and do-ragging it.
Yeah, but I think it falls out in chunks, and so it's a tough call, man. The woman locally that you were talking about that shaved her kid's head and then bandanaed it, no one's going to call that out.
Right.
They're just not. But her, yeah, look at that. Oh, poor thing.
It's the tooth-to-gum.
Dude, and she's got a great row of teeth.
They always do, man.
I know.
These tooth-to-gum problems, show us yours.
Smile.
See? Look at the grill.
Look at that.
It's always a beautiful grill. It's almost like that extra gum that jaw fortifies it.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. It's like through the process.
It's the
I don't know,
zygote
is it the
stage.
zygote
Yeah.
stage that does this, where it's like, all right, here's what you're going to be met with, Hillary. I'm going to give you the most spectacular row of teeth known to man. They are going to be as white gets, but you're going to have to deal with an inch of gum above them. I'm sorry, it's the best I can do. And here we are. So they noticed her hair wasn't falling out, even though they knew she was doing chemo. They eked a confession out of her too. Imagine that.
So bold, man. Lying about cancer.
So they did a benefit for her, and I guess she got like $17,500, $10,000 of which was in cash.
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and just say, you know what, something mentally is off. Nobody is that diabolical, right? Nobody can bilk your friends out of thousands of dollars. You're gonna get away with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't fathom it, but I know people will go. You hear people robbing their friends and breaking into neighbors' houses when they're
that's always
desperate.
drug related.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, despite this cancer, she's working at a bar, and one of the women there, who's a manager of hers, noticed her hair wasn't falling out. The boss then phoned McClellan's father, calls dad, and is like,
Hey, she's not sufficiently suffering. Why am I not seeing suffering?
Can you give me any sort of update on this cancer? And dad's like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. She's like,
You got to cover at least your bases in that regard to your parents, your kids.
Yeah.
They got to be on board.
And so all her friends get together, and this manager, and they invite her over to the house. And so she probably walks in, just like coughing and, hunched over, and sits down. Hillary, we're going to need you to sit down for a second. And then for 2 hours.
Intervention?
Grilling intervention. I don't know if they waterboarded her or what, but finally the bar manager friend of hers is like, there is a serious fraud investigation that's about to happen. Your life is about to change forever. And she's like,
oh my God.
Okay, I don't have cancer. Jesus. Fuck all of you guys. They were recording this too, so it was on tape, her admitting it. Fine, I don't have cancer. Molly Bean, McClellan's former roommate, said, yeah, she used to make me drive her to her cancer appointments.
Fuck.
Where she would get treatment.
So what's the move? What's her next move? Does she claim like oh my God, mentally I'm just so strung out, I'm so stressed, and I did this? Like, that would be my thing, I think. I think I'd try to like shift the blame to wow, some chemical imbalance made me do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a diversionary tactic. Like, I'm tired of people focusing on my gum to tooth ratio. And then so, I mean, it'd be the most extensive changing of the subject maybe in the history of man. But I think I might go that route. Like, I can feel the eyes on my gums, and it's driven me nuts, and I wanted to change the subject so badly that I made up cancer, and I hope you guys can forgive me. And then at that point, I think her friends would go, yeah, I can see why you would do that.
You do look like a horse.
Does make sense. So Molly Bean, poor Molly Bean, the roommate, is driving this woman like 3 times a week to her cancer treatments, where she's getting her chemo.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't I come in with you, and I want to be there for you. And she's like, I can't let you see me hooked up to machines. Please, just wait in the
God,
car.
dude.
And so then she would go into these things and, like, I don't know, sit in the lobby for an hour and then come back out, and Bean would take her home.
God bless Bean.
I can't let you see me this way. I for my sake, I hope her middle name is Flickta, but I doubt it. It's probably a long shot. I just know if I had a kid and my last name was Bean, she would totally be like Michelle Flickta Bean. It's just me, though. By becoming a DetroitCast member, folks, listeners can single-handedly play a role in keeping the show going for a long time to come. Work very hard to keep the show totally free, and the members area worth it too. There's 100 or more hours of behind-the-scenes discussions, videos. It's basically your backstage pass to the DetroitCast. So go to DetroitCast.com, click the members area tab at the top of the page, and sign up today. It's very helpful to us.
Thank all of our current members, and welcome many more, hopefully.
We put a couple more discussions in there, yesterday?
Indeed.
Yeah, that I think are pretty good. Yeah, anyway, go listen to them if you're a member. Lastly, Jay, before we get to email, what is one of your balls worth?
At this point in my life, dude, I'd sell my balls for like $10.
Dude, I thought we've already talked about this before. Dude. We've put it, whatever.
Okay, so let's shut it down, E, since we've already talked
about
this before.
I don't want any more kids. I mean, to the extent it has to drive my sex drive, I'm obviously concerned about that. I want to still have closet time on a regular basis. I don't
Yeah.
want that dipping. But if you were to ask me to sell one ball,
Yeah.
I'd take
$10. You would not $10, dude.
I mean-
I gotta sell an egg for $10. Fuck that. But there was a guy, and I don't know how this happens. We've heard of these things over the years. He had some trauma to his balls at some point. I don't know if he lit them on fire or if it was extensively kicked in them. I don't know. But he had some trauma, and his ball was just aching. His right ball was on fire all the time for years. And so the doctor's like, look, you're 53. You're not pumping out any kids. Let's get this thing out of here. It's never going to be, it's going to cause you pain forever. And so he's like, all right, fine. So he goes in there, and the doc takes the wrong ball. Perfectly good ball.
See, this happens now. Now they'll actually put like an X, make you X the knee that you want operated on and
Yep.
shit. And you can't very well X the ball you want, you know?
Well,
They
I
kinda
mean, if-
shift around in there a little bit.
Yeah, and the doctor had some lame excuse, too, about, well, it's possible for balls to shift in place. So I took the right one out.
I don't think that's a lame excuse.
Well, dude, they don't jump left to right and switch teams like that.
I don't know.
They don't.
Okay.
They don't. When I had my knee done, I had to X the knee and then initial it with a Sharpie. So I don't know that he did that, but he wakes up and finds that the wrong ball is gone, and so he sued, and he was awarded. Stephen Haynes is his name, and he was awarded. What did they say? $870,000
Shit.
for one ball, the wrong ball. Which
Are
means
they gonna, is he going to have to pay for them? Because they still have to take the other one that was wrong out. And then
How
they
do
put
you
in
put a
fake
price
one?
tag on emotional distress, Mike?
yeah, you don't.
No, but your point is a solid one, and that then takes away his ability to produce testosterone at a sufficient level, likely, and so he's probably has to, have that supplemented.
So you're saying he was underpaid?
No,
for his
I'm
ball?
just saying, does this count to the other? Because now, like I said, he has to
He's
take both of
suggesting
them.
he still has the problem with his other ball. Therefore, the other ball has to go. You
Right.
end up
Now
no
you
balls.
can't just-
That looks weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they
Yeah.
have to
Number
at
one.
least have
Having
one
a
of those
missile
fake-
just sticking out of the ground like
looks
that is
fucking weird.
Yeah,
So
you need a
deserve
base.
$500K for that, right? Just the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Walking around looking weird.
fake ones in
Yeah.
there.
The
Nudicles?
I was
He's
going to say,
suggesting
the
nudicles.
argument is, so we'll slap some nudicles in there.
And we could even up the size, and it might,
Yeah,
whatever
that's
your
true.
lady would like.
Some nice smooth eggs in there and up the side. I like that. Yeah, having an unfilled sack hanging loose, looking like a turkey neck. Oh, that would be bad. That'd be a bad look,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
I mean, that'd be part of my art. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it just looks weird. I mean, look at that thing.
He just unzips and he's just got this
Gobble, gobble.
gobble, gobble, motherfuckers. It's Thanksgiving every day in my house, ladies and gentlemen. Look at, I'm a monster. Look at me.
Yeah, with some credible testimony from the
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah. And every guy in the jury could feel for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You know what I
just
mean?
Have like one hand on your nutsack the whole time. Fuck.
An empty bag just hanging there. Oh, no. Give him more. He needs more.
So you can see how you get to 800K pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, it broke down that he got $620,000 in compensatory. What does that mean?
It's compensating him for his loss.
All right. So the court just in their opinion, his one ball was worth $620,000.
And I guarantee you there's a lot of expert testimony about the testosterone production.
Yeah.
That's
He's not
where
gonna feel like
that's
a
the
man
loss,
anymore.
right?
He's gonna feel like a woman.
Yeah, because now, as he aptly pointed out, you got to get rid of the other one because that was the issue. And then how are you going to produce it? How are you going to get it back to that level that you had?
Probably have to take those
But how much-
shots or pills or whatever they have.
54-year-old man. How much testosterone is that thing spitting out?
Hopefully
54
a
is not
decent
that
amount.
bad.
I mean,
He could
you're
say-
right. It's right around the corner for you, my friend.
I
So
know. Shit.
Yeah,
but
you know how much you've declined.
I'd be
so-
on board with this argument if he was 17, and it's like, dude, that's
No, but that's
that's making you a man. That's pumping out the testosterone. But at 54, and I'm just saying
I
an
know, there's
argument
no way
could
that
be
dude
made.
is siring kids, right?
Yeah, well,
Although he probably made that argument.
let's
You never
ask-
know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
single. Maybe I wanted a kid.
and then they gave him $250,000 in punitive. I don't know
It's to
what
punish.
what does that mean?
to punish.
Punish the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you guys do it for? Just lastly, wrapping this up. I mean, like
No,
100
seriously, $10.
50 grand. Honestly, 50
I mean,
grand.
other than it looking weird, I wouldn't want to get rid of both. As long as you could give me a viable nudicle, I would get rid of one for $10 to $12.
I'll give you 50 grand, your choice, right or left. But we got to do it today, and you can't tell Gab.
Okay.
I'll give you another 150 grand on top of that if I can take both of them. We have to do it today, and you can't tell Gab.
See, I'm worried about my production then, man. See, I do not want another kid. No interest in that shit. But I want to know that my testosterone is
Dude, you can get testosterone shots. Big deal. 200 grand cash, tax free.
There doesn't need to be like I won't tell Gab. Gab would be like, yeah, do it. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, but every
Why
time
would
she reached
care?
down there, it'd be like,
She doesn't care about the testosterone.
I know, but she looks at it a lot.
If
She
anything-
gazes in amazement at his setup
It's all
all
about
the time.
aesthetics with me.
But if
So-
anything, if you now you might get a little more emotional. You can watch some chick flicks. And
Jay starts crying.
Grow
at
some
stories.
bitch tits.
yeah, she loves it. Turns out she's awesome.
If we start doing more dead baby stories and Jay's just sobbing, just a mess.
The baby was set in a microwave?
We turned him into Sarah Titties. Holy shit. It's emotional at every story we do.
Oh, man, I just want to make sure I can properly get this thing up and have it operational. That's my concern. I don't care. It's aesthetics to me as long as we can nudicle it and make it look fine so I don't look weird. I don't want to look weird.
All right, here's what I'll say. I'm not going to pay you that, but if someone does,
really?
and you decide to take them up on it, will you promise me that you'll at least show it to me so I can see what it looks like?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
An empty bag, you mean?
Yes.
It's not going to be empty for long, though, because,
Yeah.
like I said, part of the deal is nudicles.
Yeah, but I want to see it when it's empty. I just
right.
want to see what that turkey neck hanging thing looks like without balls.
Gobble, gobble.
All right, how we doing for email?
We do have some email, Mike. Let me get to that. Dragon writes in, I believe his name is.
Cool name, I like
Jay,
that.
Mike, greetings from Beverly Hills. Please tell the fucktard self-proclaimed history buff E
Oh, boy.
that George Washington crossed the Delaware.
I know. It was, I
E.
know. It
Not
was
the
not
Potomac, as he
Potomac,
incorrectly
E.
stated in episode
know.
842. Love the show. Keep up the
I
great work.
know.
Jesus.
Oh,
I knew that.
Even in his attempt to bring in this famous portrait and General Washington doing a General Washington,
Hell yeah.
he's
The
so known
pose.
to do. Even in his
I thought that
attempt
was
to change the
called-
subject from Valley Forge onto something that he knew,
dude,
he
I
fucked
thought
it up.
I thought I learned something. I'm trying to like think in my head now. Did I brag to anybody about my newly acquired knowledge about Washington
God,
crossing the
I hope
Potomac?
not.
I thought
Hope
that
you
was.
didn't pass
You
it
look
on.
like an asshole.
I really always thought that's what that was called. But I guess it was
Isn't the Potomac a much smaller river, like right in D.C.?
I don't know anything
I think
now.
I remember a plane crashing in the Potomac in like the 80s. Do you remember
Yeah,
that? An
I don't
icy
know.
Potomac?
I don't.
Crossing the Delaware. He's right.
Jesus. Hopefully you do better tomorrow on This Day in History with Big E. Okay, we expect great things. You kind of had your pilot episode. Now get it together, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you were you in your pilot episode you dropped zero knowledge. In fact, you made us dumber because you gave us incorrect facts.
Now going forward, I'm gonna be like, fuck, was it Potomac or Delaware?
Yep.
God, I'm gonna be confused.
Oh, me too. Me too.
You let me know when that situation comes up, and I'll give you the right answer.
I trust you.
Yeah.
Jeff with a G writes in. Mike, your dish grievance. I'll also add that you're totally bona fide. In my house, my wife, who is completely, almost painfully anal retentive in so many other areas of life, will often just chuck dishes into the sink.
It's Beth. That's Beth. Anal as shit about everything else, and then just like, oh, just have a caked over spoon with peanut butter and just toss it in the sink.
And worse, into the dishwasher, says Jeff with a G, without rinsing it off.
Yep.
If I don't catch it, it will frequently come out of the dishwasher and crust it even worse.
Yes.
I marvel at how someone who is otherwise such an OCD neat freak is completely unconcerned about this aspect of cleanliness. Granted, if you were to ask her, she'd complain about how completely lax I am about cleanliness and almost every other aspect of life, so I may have it coming. On another subject...
This must be a glitch in women because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that Beth would be equally as anal about every aspect of her life and then not care about crusted over spoons that come out of the dishwasher that are basically garbage at that point. Throw them away. Gross.
On another subject, Jay's grievance regarding junk mail and the prior emailer's message about stuffing junk mail into the envelopes and sending it back. I harken back to where you questioned whether the intern opening envelopes full of crap would convey the message to the higher-ups. In my mind, the message you'd send here is not so much the shit you send back to them, but the fact that they now have to pay for postage given that you sent the thing back. You know how it's postage paid?
Yeah.
They only get charged for that if it's sent back.
If it's used, yes.
Great point by Jeff with a G. Seems to me that if enough people did this, the resulting cost in postage, not offset by actually selling whatever shit they were selling, would eventually impact the bottom line, and that message would go to the higher-ups.
Great point.
To your point about how much time it takes to save up junk mail and stuff into these envelopes, though, I would frequently seal up those envelopes and drop them into the mail empty. That literally takes just a couple seconds, and it still has the impact of making them pay for postage for nothing. Maybe if a few thousand people start doing stuff like this, it might make them change their tactics, or maybe they just raise the prices on the feeble-minded people who actually buy the shit they're peddling.
That's
also
probably
a good
likely to
They
happen.
just spread out that expense. Oh, cost of doing business just went up.
Yeah, the odds of them going, "Wow, I guess we got to shut it down and close the doors." I mean,
Yeah,
we're
we got to
getting murdered on
stop this
postage.
practice
Yeah.
of sending shit to people. No.
Honey, let's lock the doors. We're done. I mean, too many guys are onto us, and we can't afford this.
Finally, in 841, Jay questioned whether Mike's dad ever wore the Popeye suit uniform while in the Navy. If I remember correctly, Mike's dad was a pilot, meaning he would have been a commissioned officer, so he would have worn an officer's uniform. For the layperson, think of the uniforms worn in A Few Good Men by Tom Cruise. The faggoty white uniform
Yeah.
that Colonel Nathan R. Jessup pointed out.
Sure. Officer and a gentleman.
The Popeye suits are only worn by enlisted men, although as soon as enlisted men hit Chief Petty Officer, they're allowed to wear the same uniforms as officers and to ditch the Popeye suits, and never by officers. So the Popeyes are never worn by officers. So unless Mike's dad started out as an enlisted guy, later became an officer, which is possible but relatively uncommon since most officers go right from, say, the Naval Academy or ROTC to officer status, he probably never had to wear the Popeye suit.
Yeah,
he didn't go to the Naval Academy.
No,
and I don't think it's
he-
all that common for people to go to the ROTC first.
No, he
I think
graduated
a lot of
from
officers
college.
would start with as Popeye. Am I wrong on that?
I know he literally went from college because I think he had like a 3-month period off before he was going right to flight school. And my mom said he was a piece of shit. He laid around and ate Angel's food cakes that he would make and watch soap operas for 3 months before he left for the academy.
So it's in your blood, Mike.
She was like, and his argument was
Hold on, he didn't leave for the academy. He left for
he
officer
left
school.
for flight school.
Okay.
And so, if I have this right, and I'm sure he'll correct me if I don't, his argument was to her like, it's just rude to take a job from someone, and they're going to train me to do this job, and then in 3 months I'm leaving for flight school. I don't want to do that to them. It's not fair. So I'm going to sit here and watch General Hospital and eat like 3 Angel food cakes a day because they were cheap and easy. And he would do it. My mom would come home from work. She'd work a long shift or something, and he'd just be sitting there on the couch in a T-shirt watching TV. And then him and his buddy Lou were supposed to go to flight school together. They were gonna. The plan was we're going in and pick your plane, what jets or this or bombers, and right before they were supposed to go, Lou got a little shit faced, I think, and wrecked his car. Got into a car accident. And my dad was like right behind Lou. They're driving down the freeway in San Francisco, and Lou ends up rolling his car and has to go into surgery, and it made him not able to deploy or go to flight school for a week. And so my dad was like, "Well, see you later, Lou. I'm not waiting for you." And so my dad went and got into flight school, and they never saw each other again as far as like
Now
their
I
time in the
got you.
Navy. Like they thought they were just going to go up the ranks and flight school and like be like me and you going, and just like, yeah, dude, it'll be cool. We'll hang the whole time. Never saw him again because they had to go to different states now because
Wow.
Lou was a week late. Yeah.
Well, I want to know if your dad ever dressed as Popeye.
I don't think so, dude. I've never seen any pictures. You're talking the hat and all, right?
Yeah.
That
Oh,
weird
yeah.
hat, yeah. And the blue, yeah. No, I don't think so.
He does have a proclivity for canned spinach, though, I heard. So I wonder.
Yeah.
I just wonder.
Yeah.
We'll check on that. Bob writes in, now this I think is out of bounds. Mo, Curly, and Ferry. Mike beat the shit out of that car of Big E's, of course. He talked about hammering his car every time he doesn't close the door to the downstairs. Mm-hmm. In blank verse number 843's discussion of the punishment/training methods of correcting E's door opening behavior, Jay dismissed hammering E's hood because it would punish Mike Fady. Au contraire, Mike Fady deserves a certain level of punishment for enabling the tard. Swing away, Mike. Good
Great
day.
point.
I said good. Mike Fady literally has a retarded son.
Yeah.
I think you can't be too harsh on Mike Fady. Hello, Mrs. Fady, by the way.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mrs. Fady. No, the smacking of the hood with the hammer was in part to send a message that hopefully in time he would get.
He doesn't
The
give a
other
shit.
part of it was when I'm enraged in that moment, the idea of grabbing a fucking hammer and just going wham on his hood, like warms me. Like that is part of it. Because I had people tweeting at me yesterday going, "How about you charge him $50 every time he blows?" And I'm like, "Not boring, boring."
Yeah.
No, $50? No, I don't.
Plus, I just wouldn't come. I wouldn't
Into the
I'd-
mic!
I'd stop coming over. I would rather. I just would stop coming over.
Like I
I'm
go
not
home in the hole every day.
I'm
Yeah.
not paying $50.
See-
and I wouldn't care about what the car looked like, to be honest.
Yeah, and that doesn't do anything for me. My aggression is still there, and I'm going to take it out on an errant wall or something for no reason.
No, to me, this is the better option. Tim writes in, training Big E. If a training collar is out, which presumably it is, because
Yeah.
you know we can't force them to wear a training collar. May I suggest blowguns? Fuck yes, you may. Chunks of
Like
crayon.
the ones you and Merc had?
Chunks of crayon are a perfect fit and really sting. Remember, pain is nature's way of saying, stop doing that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be perfect. Not the long one, but just the shorty.
Do we
Like
have
the-
one? Do you
like
still
the
have
foot
one?
and a half? No, Merc has them. But you can get them all over.
So what, we break crayons into little
Yeah,
chunks?
they have what are called thumpers. There's a big needle you could shoot. We probably shouldn't do that. Maybe
Yeah.
once or twice.
Yeah.
Remember Horse Dick, the guy who escaped
Yes.
from the New York prison?
Dude.
He had that video where he let a guy blowgun a needle through his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the exact blowgun Merc had and the exact needle. Now, the other part of that is a little thumper on the end that, like Tim is describing, sort of like a crayon. Piece
Okay.
of crayon you put in there and pop. Dude, it hurts.
Dude,
Just
so-
enough.
So what is he? So let me get this straight. So we're saying then E leaves a door open, and it's like E basement now.
Yes.
We make him take a shirt off, and then one of us, whichever's in the
Yes.
mood that day, just
Yes.
and just whap right in the belly or right in the fucking
And
back.
I'm telling you, it's not going to kill him, but it hurts just enough where
Yeah.
it will, as Tim says, nature's way of changing behavior.
E, how do you feel about this one?
That's on you, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
we're in.
All right. Yeah. This
Somebody send
dude,
us
this
a
is.
blowgun.
We need a blowgun, and we need some of these crayon thumpers things. If someone can do that, we will absolutely shoot Big E every single time he leaves the door open.
Meaning every day we'll shoot Big E.
I'm thinking we up it every time you have to yell into the mic, you
No,
son of a
I
bitch.
won't- No, I'm not doing that.
Well,
I will stop.
Into the mic! Fuck, dude! You know we're doing a show, right?
No, my
You know, in
seat
order
is
to record
terrible
that, we
with
need
this
to.
mic. You know, your guys'
You
mics
know,
are right into your face.
Jesus, it just means you
I never have
can't
an
lean
issue over
back.
there.
You just can't lean back like this and relax. It just means you have to sit forward, dude.
I hate sitting forward. My mic.
Fuck
should be,
me,
I should be able to-
man.
I should be able to move my mic closer.
I can't move back, E, and relax.
Yes, you can. You can do this.
No, I can't.
E,
That's
just
as far
don't
as it
touch his
goes.
mic.
Don't. Yeah, exactly. Shoot you with a fucking thumper dart. No, I have to sit up and get into the mic. I
thing is a
understand that there are
pain.
people outside of this room listening. It's important.
He needs to be better trained.
With
And
a
it's-
blowgun.
It's remarkable to me that as we're having the discussion about shooting him with a dart,
Every time he doesn't talk into the mic,
goes-
that he doesn't talk into the mic.
he leans
Fuck
back.
you, dude. I'm not doing that.
He leans back 2 feet farther than normal and just like, fuck you then, dude. I'm not.
Back to my original premise in response to Bob's email. Mike Fady literally has a retarded son.
I know. Hello,
Mrs. Fady.
Hi, Mrs.
Good day
Fady.
to you. Lastly, I'd like to mention my pillow. What happened, Mike?
Dude, for the second time today, I dropped my phone. That's how frazzled
Frazzled.
I am over Big E.
Yeah. Don't forget My Pillow. They've given us a sweetheart of a deal, so please go to mypillow.com and use TDC code.
Those are my guys. Take good care of them.
All right, we good?
Save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
Tomorrow's the end of the week for us, man. And I'm off the journey.
Sweet.
Yes.
Don't stop believing.
Hold on to that feeling. I got the set list that
Yeah?
they've been doing lately.
Let's hear it.
It is
Strong to quite strong.
titties, dude.
Okay, let's hear it.
I mean, it is straight up titties if you're a Journey fan.
I don't know why you'd want to look. I hate the idea of looking up a set list on a tour like that before I'm going.
It was
I wanna be
sent to me, E. I didn't
I
go
would
look it up
look.
myself.
I wanna
Lots of
be
shit sent
surprised.
to you. You never open your email. Why'd you open this one?
I just feel like you
Wasn't
want to
my
be
email.
surprised. I guess I like being surprised.
Yeah, I agree with
Well,
you.
Beth and I are going with another couple, and the other couple, she sent me the set list, and what was I going to do? Go, oh, you bitch! Why would you send me that? You
Yeah.
ruined everything. No, I went,
I would
oh
just
wow,
say-
cool, this is amazing.
Or you could just say, thanks, but you know what? I like to be surprised at shows.
Yeah, well,
you
I don't
have
care.
to call her a bitch because of it.
Well,
I mean,
Read the set list.
we open up with Separate Ways. Boom!
Open up with
Right
separate
out of the
ways.
gate, dude. Yeah, according to
I
this.
feel like you have to come a little stronger than separate ways to open.
What do you think? You should rock more?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a ballady band, dude.
I understand that.
I
but-
just want it to be a song I know.
Okay.
Like that's my whole thing. I understand they're not going to do "Oh Sherry," which I would love to hear, but I understand that's a Perry song, and you know the rest of the guys aren't involved. I know Arnell could kill it though, so I wish that would be on there, but it's not. So we open with Separate Ways.
Lying beside me, there in the dark. Na, 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 na. You're gonna open with that? Fuck!
Dude, I didn't write this.
It makes me want to hold hands and roller skate,
I
not
know.
rock out to a concert.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. That's song 2.
See, that's what I think should be song 1.
And then we kick it up a notch with Who's Crying Now.
Okay.
Dude, this is out of the gate. And then some piece of shit called Chain Reaction. That is your bathroom song right there. Only the Young, and then a guitar segue.
Segui.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, if you need a beer and a whiz,
Niels Segui.
Chain Reaction, Only the Young, and guitar solo into Stone in Love, that's it. And then Edge of the Blade, like, that's when it's like, oh, they're doing Edge of the Blade. Someone's going to have to tell me what that sounds like. But when I hear that,
Yes,
it's like,
you're gonna
okay,
know it.
it's time to get back to my seat because we're coming in strong with Lights. Woo! Oh,
When the
lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay. Do I want to be there in my city? Oh, yeah, that one. And then probably the highlight of the night comes next, which is the keyboard solo. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's tough. And then we're going into Open Arms.
Okay.
Not bad.
Strong to quite strong.
Escape.
I'd know it if I heard it.
I would too. Dead or Alive. I don't know what that is. Maybe they're doing a Bon Jovi cover. I don't know. And then we're getting close here, but we're kicking into
Wheels of the Sky. Yeah.
Wheel in the Sky,
There we go.
dude.
The wheel in the
Sky keeps on turning. And then just when people are like, it can't get any hotter than this. It can't. It can't. Oh, yes, it can. Yes, it can. How about a little Faithfully, ladies and gentlemen? Is that a na-na-na-na-na? Is there a sing-along na-na-na part to na-na-na-na-na-na?
Na 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 na.
Is that Faithfully?
I can't remember.
It's one of those. And then we're fucking jamming a little bit and going straight into Be Good to Yourself, which is just an up tempo.
Remind me.
People be good to yourself. It's like it's speedier up tempo. You'd know the chorus maybe, but that's it. And then Don't Stop Believing.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to this feeling. Feeling. People. Oh!
Hitting that note, that I'm gonna have to work my vocal cords out just to try to get up there. You know, see if I can't
Choose
help
your octave
Arnell.
wisely,
Oh
man.
God, dude, that's one you have to choose your octave wisely on. And then it's like, all right, guys, we're out. Thank you. Good night. We're done. Thank you.
Why they play that game? Why they all play that game?
All right, you sons of bitches. All right,
Oh,
all right.
well,
you-
come. Okay, one more.
All
one
right,
more.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Do
crazy.
they
They
even list the encores now?
didn't even turn the house lights on. It was weird. It just kept the lights off, letting everybody know that this is just a game we're playing now. And then, all right, we'll give you Love and Touch and Squeezing, and then fuck off. We're out of here. And so, it's not bad.
It's great. I wonder if they shouldn't open up with something a little quicker.
I was just happy it wasn't something.
Maybe it's
off-
just an instrumental kind of in the background, you know, to kind of, holy shit, you know, the curtain's still down and
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but I didn't want it to be like, ladies and gentlemen, Journey. Yeah, one from our upcoming album. And you're like, oh,
no. I'm not asking for that for sure.
oh shit. One from the upcoming album to start things? We're sitting on our hands, folks. No, but you go strong. What are they saying? Open Arms? Is that what they're
I thought it was faithfully or something. It was-
separate ways? I'm just glad I know it. It's like, yeah, okay, I can get in there. No guarantees that that's the official set list, but that's what I've been provided. So
It's the word on the street.
we've gone way long, sir. I blame E.
Okay.
Into the mic.
Blame me for going over
Well,
the Journey set list.
Dude, a proper producer would have said, guys, I know you want to go over the Journey set list, but we got to go. Cut. I'm going to cut your mics if you don't fucking knock it off.
Okay.
That's what a proper
Next time
producer
I
would do.
will do that.
Instead of sitting back and
Tell we're
enjoying.
getting riled up. You can tell.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.